All right, let's just jump right in. Think about it. One single day on this planet is just a flood of headlines, right? So what we're going to do today is take a snapshot, just 24 hours, and try to piece together what's going on. The good, the bad, and honestly, the just plain weird stuff that's all happening at the exact same time. You know that feeling, right? You open up your phone, you look at the news, and it's just this wave of anxiety. It feels like total chaos, just a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with each other. But what if there's a pattern in all that noise? Well, that's what we're here to find out. I mean, just look at this stuff. An Indian fighter jet goes down at the Dubai Airshow. A grizzly bear mauls a school group in Canada. Gunmen kidnap a whole school in Nigeria. Oh, and a top UK politician gets thrown in jail for taking bribes. It's just a lot. And this is all happening today. Okay, so to make any sense of this, let's try to organize it a bit. We'll start with our first big theme, global flashpoints. We're talking about the spots on the map where things are really heating up, where conflicts are already happening or just about to.
First up, Ukraine. The war there just keeps grinding on, and the human cost it's just horrific. The big story today is a Russian missile strike that absolutely devastated the city of Ternopil. The numbers are just awful. 28 people are confirmed dead, and rescuers are frantically digging through rubble trying to find 16 more people who are still missing.
And then, at the same time, we look over to Gaza. There was a ceasefire, but it looks like it's starting to fall apart. Reports are coming in about some of the deadliest Israeli airstrikes since that truce was called. We're hearing from officials on the ground that these attacks have killed at least 33 people. That's a huge and really worrying escalation. Now, not all conflicts are fought with missiles. Sometimes the tension is quieter, A huge investigation from Reuters just dropped, and it's a big one. They found that China is basically using its giant fleet of civilian ships as a kind of shadow navy. They're running drills, practicing for what could be a potential invasion of Taiwan. It's a completely different kind of threat. So when you lay it out like this, you can really see the different flavors of conflict we're dealing with. Ukraine is just a brutal, full-on war. Gaza, that's a fragile piece that could break any second. And then with Taiwan, it's more of a cold conflict, all about strategy and preparation. And notice how the world is paying attention differently, right? Zelensky is under a mountain of pressure, while in the Middle East, there's this U.S. plan that's, believe it or not, actually getting some support at the UN.
Okay, that brings us to our next theme, and it connects directly to all of this: politics and power plays. Because behind every single one of these conflicts, behind every big headline, you have people in power making moves. And today is a perfect example of that.
Wow, just read that quote. France must be prepared to lose children in war. I mean, that is a jaw-dropping thing for France's top general to say out loud, and it has sent absolute shockwaves across Europe. People are furious, but it's also forcing this incredibly difficult conversation about what war would actually mean for a country like France today.
And you can feel that kind of tension all over the continent. Look at the UK. The big COVID inquiry is just hammering the government, calling the former PM's response chaotic and saying it led to more deaths. And then you have a former leader of the Reform UK party actually jailed for taking Russian bribes. It's wild. Meanwhile, in Spain, they're wrestling with the ghost of Francisco Franco, 50 years to the day since he died. It's a continent dealing with its past and its present all at once.
So you've got all this international drama, but at the same time, a lot of countries are looking inward, dealing with massive problems right at home. And that's our third theme, how nations are grappling with their own domestic issues. Just look at this number, 52. That's not a statistic. That's 52 students and teachers who were kidnapped from a Catholic school in Nigeria today. And what's even more terrifying, this is the second time this has happened in 1 week. It just shows you the scale of the security crisis they're facing. And it's interesting to see how different countries handle their problems. Check this out. 2 completely different approaches to big domestic issues. In Australia, they're going all in on protecting kids, banning all social media for teens under 16. And yeah, that now includes Twitch. But then you look at the UK, and their focus is totally on the economy. They're rolling out a new super fast visa to get high earners to move there. And then sometimes a huge national issue is, well, it's about pasta. Seriously. It sounds kind of funny, but in Italy, people are legitimately outraged. Why? Because somebody was selling fake carbonara sauce in the EU Parliament's gift shop. And yeah, it's a bit of a lighter story, but it's a great example of how something like food is tied so deeply to national pride that it becomes a political flashpoint. All right, for our last theme, let's pull the camera way back. Let's talk about the planet itself. Because from incredible animal discoveries to the really tough realities of climate change, the natural world is always making news. Okay, you have to hear this. This is one of those stories that just makes you go, whoa. For what might be the first time ever recorded, a wild wolf in Canada was seen using a tool. I'm not kidding. People actually got it on video, this wolf using ropes on crab traps to get the fish out. It's just an amazing moment of animal intelligence, a reminder that we have so much more to learn about the world around us.
But the bigger picture isn't always so amazing. Let's look at the big COP30 climate summit in Brazil. You know, the huge UN meeting where they're supposed to solve climate change? Well, it's been a mess. The single most important part, a plan to phase out fossil fuels, has been totally dropped from the agreement. On top of that, they're fighting about money, and there was even a fire that forced everyone to evacuate. It's not looking good. They did decide Turkey will host the next one, so there's that, I guess.
And you can see the impact of our strained relationship with nature everywhere you look today. A freak snowstorm in Patagonia kills 5 tourists. The water crisis in Iran is so bad the president says moving the entire capital city might be a necessity. And yeah, remember that grizzly bear attack we talked about? 11 people injured. It's all connected. These moments where the human world and the natural world collide, often with tragic results.
So, wow. We've been through war, politics, kidnappings, Pastagate, climate disasters. After all that, how are you supposed to process it? How do you not just want to turn it all off? The trick really is to have a framework, a way to sort through the noise.
Think about what we just did here. We basically created a little toolkit you can use anytime you look at the news. Step 1, look for the flashpoints, the hotspots. 2, track the power plays, who's making the moves. 3, see what's happening inside countries, the domestic stuff. And 4, keep an eye on our planet, the environmental pressures. If you do that, you start turning all that random noise into clear signals.
And once you have those signals, you get to decide what to focus on. Because in this endless flood of information, maybe the most important question isn't what happened, it's what story actually matters to me. And, well, that's a question only you can answer. Thanks for joining me.